Picture this. You're watching the Ten Commandments in 1956, mesmerized by the death angel creeping through Egypt when a chill runs down your spine that you can't explain. What you don't realize is that Cecil B. DeMille has hidden a real human skull in that green mist, and your subconscious is registering death itself. This is just one of the shocking secrets buried in Hollywood's most epic biblical film, where divine miracles on screen came from popcorn and gelatin, where Audrey Hepburn lost her chance at immortality over her bust size, and where the voice of God was actually Moses talking to himself. Number 10. A music legend started as an anonymous drummer. In the Golden Calf Festival scene, a 21-year-old musician sat beating drums in the corner while hundreds of extras danced in frenzied celebration. The camera barely caught his back, and no credit recorded his name. That anonymous drummer was Herb Alpert, who would later create the Tijuana Brass and become a musical icon with dozens of awards. The exhausting 3-week shoot for that festival scene left actors so drained they muttered curses about who they had to sleep with to escape the film. Yet, from that grinding production came the seed of an entirely different legend in American music. Number 9. Disney artists secretly created the biblical miracles, the fiery pillar tearing through the sky and God's finger carving the tablets weren't created by Paramount's team alone. The studio secretly brought in top animators from Disney who had worked on Fantasia, combining real light with hand-layered animation techniques that pushed beyond what 1950s audiences thought possible. These artists created fire that blazed without consuming and letters that glowed as they etched into stone. It wasn't just special effects. It was genuine movie magic crafted by the same hands that brought Mickey Mouse to life. Number 8. Moses' robe accidentally matched ancient priest colors. Charlton Heston wore a red, black, and white striped robe that DeMille chose simply because it looked striking in Technicolor. Years later, religious scholars and archaeologists discovered these were the exact ceremonial colors of the Levite priests, the tribe Moses belonged to according to the Bible. No one on the production knew about this coincidence. The wardrobe choice unintentionally made Heston's Moses historically authentic in a way that blurred the line between cinema and ancient reality. Audiences saw not just a prophet, but a figure who seemed to step directly from historical records. Number 7. Audrey Hepburn was rejected for one physical detail. When DeMille sought a face for Princess Nefertiri, Audrey Hepburn walked into the audition with her signature elegance that silenced the room. But in DeMille's secret notebook appeared a cold verdict. Lovely, but not enough figure. That not enough referred to her slender frame and bust that DeMille decided was too small to fill the heavy, beaded costumes he envisioned for a seductive Egyptian queen. The role went to Anne Baxter, who had the sufficient figure to embody Egypt's power and desire, while Hepburn quietly left the production. Number 6. 4,000 stone tablets sparked a 50-year legal battle. Paramount erected over 4,000 stone tablets bearing the 10 Commandments across America in parks, squares, and government buildings as a promotion campaign. DeMille saw it as more than marketing. He called it a statement that the 10 Commandments were the foundation of moral freedom. These monuments ignited fierce constitutional debates about separation of church and state. In 2005, one tablet in Texas went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, where justices ruled it could stay for its cultural rather than purely religious value. A 1956 film promotion accidentally etched itself into American legal history. Number 5. Metallica found their legendary song in the Death Angel scene. In 1983, 3 Metallica members crowded around a TV watching the 10 Commandments on VHS. When the Death Angel's green mist crawled across Egyptian homes, bassist Cliff Burton suddenly said it's like creeping death. James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich instantly recognized the phrase as perfect for a new song. From that spontaneous moment came Creeping Death, a thrash metal track retelling the biblical plagues. Today, thousands of fans scream "Die, die" to the chorus at concerts, all because of a casual movie night 30 years after the film's release. Number 4. A real skull was hidden in the Death Angel's mist. That creeping fear you feel during the Death Angel scene isn't just good filmmaking. DeMille and his technical team embedded the image of an actual human skull in the green fog that spreads across Egypt. No viewer could consciously point to it and say, "I see it," but the human eye unconsciously registered its cold outline. The result was dread spreading not from any clear image, but from a subconscious recognition of real death. Audiences shuddered with their chests heavy because they were looking at mortality crafted from reality, not just effects. It turned the scene from cinema into an experience touching humanity's deepest instinct about facing death. Number 3. The Red Sea miracle came from sticky gelatin. When Moses raised his staff and the waters parted into towering walls, millions gasped at what seemed like a divine miracle on screen. In reality, the technical team built 2 giant tanks filled with water mixed with gelatin to thicken it, then released the liquid like a flood. When played in reverse, audiences saw the sea split with water, standing as massive waves while dust rose as if blown by divine wind. 6 months of preparation and dozens of tests went into creating a scene lasting less than 10 minutes. But that scene defined what a cinematic miracle could be without any computer effects. Number 2. The director almost died, falling from a 40-meter ladder. At 73 years old, Cecil B. DeMille stood atop a 40-meter iron ladder in the desert heat, megaphone in hand, commanding thousands of extras like a general. Suddenly, severe chest pain struck, and he nearly collapsed off the ladder as the entire crew watched in horror. Doctors at the hospital told him bluntly that if he continued, he would die. DeMille smiled faintly and said he'd rather collapse on set than live with an incomplete film. 2 days later, the aging director returned to his ladder, voice booming through the megaphone, refusing to let death stop his greatest ambition. The shadow of mortality passed over the production, but it couldn't halt the creation of what would become an immortal monument loved by millions. Number 1. The voice of God was actually Moses speaking to himself. In the burning bush scene where Moses kneels before divine fire, audiences hear God's voice resonant, warm, and otherworldly. Everyone assumed it was an anonymous actor chosen to embody the divine. The shocking truth was that it was Charlton Heston's own voice. Technicians lowered his pitch and extended the echo, making it seem like Moses was hearing and conversing with his own soul. This bold choice pushed the scene beyond ordinary filmmaking into a spiritual experience. The line between human and divine completely blurred as Moses and God spoke from one body. The 10 Commandments transformed biblical text into cinematic legend through methods both sacred and strange, where popcorn became heaven's wrath and a director's defiance of death shaped Hollywood history forever.